the Volvo logo refresh. Let me share this with everyone watching so that you can see what we're talking about. I I think this is a misstep. I think this is backwards. I actually didn't realize how weird the Volvo logo was until I looked at it in isolation like this.
Mhm.
I'm not the demographic for Volvo. I think they've been trying to become more hip, more young, more sporty, but they've still got that sort of older architect or sort of quote unquote soccer mum sort of vibe to them. But what's your experience been with Volvo, Kelsey?
I think I just have this idea that it's kind of an old people brand. I'm not really sure what they're trying to do with this refresh. It kind of just looks like clip art to me, which again is like an old person thing. So I'm not sure if that's really helping. Um, yeah, I don't really know what to think about it, to be honest.
Well, they've done something that we're seeing. I feel like every single mention, and later on this episode, we're going to talk about ABC America's refresh as well. Every single recent refresh has been taking a 3D logo and flattening it.
Hmm.
VW's done it, BMW's done it. So it's not it's not a weird thing for them to do. I just think the end result comes out very weird. That arrow on the top right is just weird's the only way I can describe it.
Yeah, and the word mark, because they haven't really changed the word mark in terms of the font, and that and lining up with the thickness of the circle, it doesn't sit right with me for some reason. Like it just doesn't look like they were intended to be joined like that.
It's quite mismatched as well because it's
Yeah.
a serif with a very minimal graphic around it. I also wonder what they would do on social media because this would not scale that well unless they just get rid of the Volvo wording in the middle.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that. I mean, there's a lot of brands I think that struggle with the social media scaling, but maybe that's, not their priority in that sense.
Biggest
Like
problem.
Volvo's probably not too concerned with their social media sort of stuff. I think they would be putting their marketing elsewhere.
Elsewhere. I think the only thing worse than the logo refresh is the application on these cars. This is a concept car application of the Volvo logo, and this is the mark on one of their more recent vehicles.
It's
I
like they've
can
got 3 different versions.
oh, and it looks like a pimple. Like that's
Yeah, I mean, that one there looks more like the old logo. The one that we've got on screen at the moment, I feel like the arrow is in a different position to where it is in the
you are
main logo we were
correct.
looking at. Uh,
Yes, it
that's
is
just
sort of
confusing.
further closer down to the word mark.
And they've got that extra element of, like, the stripe that goes through, and I can see they're trying to do a 3D effect, I guess, on the edge of the stripe, but I just don't know why, and I don't know why they're introducing all these other elements rather than sticking to that brand.
I think, and I don't know for sure whether Volvo is necessarily struggling, but this might even be the sign of a company trying to find sort of the next step, the next wave. They, I think, have a very nice, a very clear image of being safe, and that's why that old person sort of brand um, comes to mind because they characterize what older, more responsible individuals would be looking for from their vehicles. And if you want to prioritize safety as a number one, um, Volvo, I think, has that brand image. But yeah, I don't know what they're trying to do. And then you've got the Volvo Group logo, which is just the Volvo text. But I think it's actually spread out. Is it? It's
Yeah.
spaced wider.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really confused by all like, there's just 3 or 4 different styles I feel like I'm looking at. It's kinda like they've got the concepts that they were working on and just gone, "Alright, let's just make this the brand." Throw them all out there and hope for the best.
Yeah, let's just make all of them um, the the various representations of the brand. The only thing consistent through here, I think, is the actual Volvo wording,
Mm.
despite the spacing slightly changing. So maybe in amongst all these, that's actually the one thing that stays constant, and the only other thing to that they want us to take out of it is that there's an arrow pointing to the top right.
Maybe. I don't know.
This is, I
Yeah.
guess, a message to everyone listening that you can really overcomplicate things, I think. And if you just come up with one, maybe two variations, stick with those, you would end up confusing people way less than Volvo's managed to do in this example.